Welcome back to Teacher Nikki's Kitchen. Today I am going to show you my easy and delicious recipe for banana pudding. This is a recipe that I make maybe 3 or 4 times a year. Definitely at Thanksgiving and also during Easter. This banana pudding has a secret ingredient to level up the flavor, and it is cream cheese. So for this recipe, I'm going to be using Sir Mix-a-Lot. Sir Mix-a-Lot does a lot of work for me in this kitchen, and almost everything comes together in the mixer. So to start, I'm going to put in my 2 packages of vanilla Jello pudding. That's 1. In the past, I tried to use like the banana flavored pudding, but it was way too fake banana flavored. So I use the vanilla as a base and then just make sure that I add bananas and add additional vanilla to give it a flavor that's different than just plain vanilla pudding. So my 2 packages are in, and I have 4 cups of milk. 4 cups of cold milk. I add the milk slowly to make sure that it doesn't get splashy and splash out of the mixer. I can't tell you how many times that was my story, but I have a goal of it not being my story today. Almost finished with the milk. 4 cups of milk in with the 2 packages of pudding. To this, I am going to add my cream cheese 1/4 of a block at a time. Up the speed a little. 2. The trick that helps the cream cheese not seize back up once it's in the cold milk is to make sure that it has been softened thoroughly, and to make sure that your milk is more cool than cold. To my pudding and cream cheese mixture, I'm going to add 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. I'm going to turn it up so that I have given all the ingredients an opportunity to mix in together. It looks like I have a little bit more of the sweetened condensed milk in the can that I'm going to scrape out. I'm going to make sure I get all that goodness in the bowl. Now to our pudding base, I'm going to add whipped cream, just the kind that comes in a container. Just a container of whipped cream. This helps loosen up our pudding because with the sweetened condensed milk and the cream cheese, it's really thick right now. It's thick and delicious, but it needs to loosen up just a little bit. I'm going to add it a little at a time. I added about 3/4 of the whipped cream to the bowl to loosen up the pudding mix. Okay, now that our pudding is all mixed up, it's time for us to put together the components that make it a banana pudding. Get this guy out of the way. My first step in my banana pudding after the pudding mix is together is to add a layer of vanilla wafers. And it doesn't have to be a perfect layer like a crust. It just needs some on the bottom. I do the same thing. This is 5 bananas that I cut up. In preparation, I'm going to put some of them. And the good thing about how thick and rich this banana pudding is that the bananas in it don't oxidize because air doesn't get to them until it's served and you're eating it. My pudding blend, a mix. We're going to add our first layer of our thick and creamy, enriched pudding. I'm just going to smooth it out. The cream cheese really does help it begin and already be thick. Now I'll start my second layer. Second layer of cookies. And bananas. Now our next layer of pudding. Smoothing it to be sure that all the bananas that we put in are covered in a blanket of pudding. It's amazing how it will help it not oxidize. Now I'm going to take my whipped topping. Oh, I forgot I still had the fourth of the other one. So I will start with this fourth container of whipped topping and give it a mix to kind of break up the pieces that are still a little frozen. And start putting plops on the pudding. Once I've given it enough plops, I'll stop and spread the topping. Now let's get some of this one. Okay, I think this is enough for us to start trying to spread and see how much more we need. I always buy two, just in case. Even if I won't use both of them completely. Yep. We're just gonna keep giving time for our whipped cream topping to soften and cover the pudding. Looks like this corner is gonna need a little more. The banana pudding is ready to eat as soon as it's at this step, but if you have time to let it be in the fridge for about 4 to 5 hours, the flavors will meld together better and it will solidify a little more. That cream cheese gets an opportunity to stiffen up just a little bit, and it really makes a banana pudding that will stand up, almost like a piece of cake. So at this point, I'm going to have a little taste. Into one of these corners. Got my pudding. Make sure I get all the way to the bottom. I have my pudding, a couple cookies, and my whipped topping. Such a sweet and delicious treat to share with families and friends at Thanksgiving. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed learning how I make banana pudding for my family. It is a family favorite. If you have a secret ingredient that you put in your banana pudding, let me know in the comments below. As always, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so that you will get all the next videos that are in my Thanksgiving series. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.